Welcome back to JamRock Gunners TV. My name is Leon and today we'll be doing a match review for Arsenal versus West Ham United. So it is 3 wins in 3 in the Premier League and we continue our winning run. Now it is really good to see this 9 points out of 9 as we wanted from the 3 home games at the Emirates. Now, it wasn't the best performance, that must be said straight off the bat, but credit to the team, they ground out a 1-0 victory. Now, we all know this is a results business, so therefore the 3 points does go a far way. In terms of how we actually played, how the game went, pretty much quick pointers on the game. I made a few notes here. Now, one of the major things that led to the bad performance, I'd say, despite the win, is that we started the game yet again way too slowly. Now this is becoming a problem now because we have not seen the full performance from the team right throughout. It's segments here and there throughout the match or sometimes only in the second half. Now I do think that will continue to cost us if we don't correct that. Now, in addition to that, I don't think there was any movement up front. It caused a very big gap in terms of what we could create and what was possible to score or, create more chances. So there was that disconnect there, and that I think cost us as well. There's a lack of movement, so that there was a lot of sideways passing. Now, we were very much too static in the midfield. We definitely need more dynamism, and that does need personnel in the middle of the park. Now, that is another topic which I think I might very well do a separate video on the state of the team and the squad, so probably look out for that. Comment down below and tell me if that's something you'd actually like to see. So basically we need to move the ball faster. Yeah, we need more pace in the middle of the park. It was very evident that we gave West Ham certain control over the game that they really shouldn't have had on the carpet. Yeah, so we really need to be more dominant in our home games. Now, in terms of West Ham, how they performed, quick notes on that is that they really started quickly and they pressed us high, causing us a lot of problems early on. Now, they were let down by their strikers actually. Now, they didn't have the finishing touches that they needed on the day. They struck the frame of our goal, but they had way more shots on goal than we did. So it is something to consider, despite the fact that we had way more possession than they did. Yeah. Now, at the end of the day, what is important is that 3 points. So let's get into the player ratings. So we start off with Bernd Leno in goal. Now, first and foremost, I do think that Bernd Leno was the man of the match. Yes, I know Lacazette got the all-important winning goal, but I think based on the overall performance, Leno did edge it in terms of the man of the match performance. I think it was a brilliant display. He saved us many times during the game. It was very, very Seaman-esque or very Lehman-esque in the way he performed today. I mean, his distribution can still improve a lot more, but I see where he's actually looking to play out quicker when there's a possibility of a counter-attack. We need to stop underrating Leno. He's a brilliant keeper. He's elite in the making, and he just needs to continue this run that he's on to continually improving. He will get there and become a very, very important part of this Arsenal team over the next few years. I give Bernd Leno a 9. Now, moving on to right back, Socrates. It needs to be said first and foremost that he is not a right back. So clearly he's playing out of position, didn't do too badly in the previous game, but it was more of a defensive performance than a full performance than what you'd want from your right back, in that he did well defensively, yes, but offensively there was not much in terms of what he added to to the runs down the right side in assisting Pepe. There was no overlaps or anything like that. But he did in fact cover Pepe well when we did lose possession. So there is that. I think Socrates would get a 6. David Luiz. Now, I don't think that was a standout performance by him by any means, but it was more or less a good partnership with Pablo Mari, which we'll get to in a second. But it wasn't, like I said, a standout situation. There were hiccups here and there, but I guess he quietly, did well and showed some maturity in the back four that was very well needed in such a vital game. So for his performance today, I'd actually give David Luiz a 6. Now, moving to the other centre back, we have the full Premier League debut for Pablo Mari. Now, it was not a bad game. It was a good performance. I wouldn't say, over the top, but there are a few pointers that I did jot down here. As we had heard before, he does lack pace. That was evident. We saw where he was getting done by the pace of the West Ham attackers on occasion. But he actually, stepped it up versus how he performed versus Portsmouth. Premier League opposition is a different story. So in that regard, we definitely have to give him some more credit based on how he performed today. Now, one of the things is that he won everything in the air. He looked good on the ball, comfortable with the ball at his feet, has a good left foot, can play a range of passes. I see short, medium range and long passes. He has that in his game, so that is a big positive in what he could possibly add to this team. However, he will need time to adjust to the Premier League, and in doing so though, it seems that he is a professional that will approach it positively and actually be able to adjust rather quickly. Now, if he does that through the rest of the season, who knows, we could have him as a permanent signing to pair with William Saliba come next season. So, good debut for Pablo Mari. I'd give him a 6 as well. Moving on to the left back, Bukayo Saka. This was not his best game, not by any means, but he did look very positionally aware in defense. He kept the West Ham attackers at bay for the most part, looked strong when he needed to be. Didn't get done in too many times that I could notice. He was able to get forward on a few occasions where he did make good use of the ball when he did do so, and that was actually showing what he could do under double team and triple team opposition. There are some questions about possible match fatigue, the amount of matches that he has played over the period of time recently, but there's no question in his work rate. I wouldn't really hesitate to give him a 6. So next up we have Granit Xhaka. Now in this situation, the less said about this one, the better, I believe. I believe he was rather poor defensively. His passing wasn't that good. Maybe a 5, just a 5. Nothing that really stood out. Wouldn't necessarily mark him down, but just a standard 5. Nothing special. Overall, just lacking in quality pretty much. Moving on to Ceballos. Now this one is an interesting one. Ceballos, I think, had a very, 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 very good game. Probably one of his best games that we've seen him play. But at the same time, there were a few issues. He was probably the most outstanding player in the game. A bit untidy early on, but he grew into the game and was our only forward-thinking asset in midfield. He was the one that looking to create stuff, to trying to link up the play going forward. In addition to driving into the spaces, he was able to close down the opposition in quite a few cases. So I think that more or less gave him a all-round performance. And outside of the actual goal, he was the most impactful player. So Ceballos gets an 8 without hesitation. Moving on to Ozil, who in all fairness was pretty absent throughout the game. kind of just popped up when necessary. In fact, there was one situation he popped up with a chance to shoot, and instead of shooting, typical Ozil, looking for a pass when he should be just going at goal. Couldn't really understand that, but he eventually came up with the assist later on in the game that priceless. 3 points, Ozil. Would have been a 5 based on the performance, but gets a bonus 1 for the assist, so I'd give Ozil a 6. Now moving on to Pepe. He has definitely demonstrated his ability. He has been actually very effective dribbling and going forward, but he's lacking that end product right now. And I think once he's able to fine-tune that, Arteta gets, that last bit of effort from him in the final third, then his game will really start to take off, because he's actually now starting to get used to the pace of the Premier League and needs to really just get his head up and either make more decisive passes or just straight up shoot more. That's definitely something that's missing, and just need to work on that in terms of the mental aspect of his game, the decision making in that final third. But in terms of the performance though, I give Pepe a 6. Moving on to Aubameyang. Now there was definitely a captain's work rate from him, but there was not necessarily a captain's performance. I'm getting a bit fed up with this now. He's being wasted on the left. I share that opinion with possibly quite a lot of you Gunners fans. And in fact, when you look at who is keeping who out of the team, Aubameyang is really being wasted on the left. He definitely needs to play central. Over the time, he has been always producing the goals. He's been pretty much accommodating Lacazette playing, and more recently Nketiah in that central role. And in fact, having him playing on the left due to that, he's actually the one keeping Martinelli out of the team, not anybody else. It's a shame really. I just think Martinelli should be starting on the left. He is the best player in that role at the moment. Play Aubameyang down the middle. Sound like a broken record now, but that's just where he should be. Based on his performance, Aubameyang would get a 6. Eddie Nketiah now. Based on his recent performances, that basically earned him a start, but overall, I don't think he's ready for a starting position in the Premier League. He is a developing talent. I think he needs to possibly, firstly, we need to do everything we can do to keep Aubameyang. If he wants to go, that's another story. But if we can keep Aubameyang in this team, sign up a new contract, that would allow us to get Nketiah understudying Aubameyang for at least another season. I think that would lift his game to the next level. And then we'd possibly be able to see, more of what he's really capable of. But in this game, he was poor, man. I have to say, he was poor. It didn't really impact the game how I'd like to see. Just a 5. Just a basic average 5 for Eddie for me. Alright, so we're moving on to the substitutes, and the number one name to be talked about from the bench is Alexander Lacazette. Pretty much came on, was very effective, won us the game. And it was really a toss-up between him and Leno who would get man of the match. But on the basis of the fact that he did score the goal, yes, but Leno kept us in the game. That is what I would give Leno the edge. Why I'd give Leno the edge. And Lacazette gets an 8. Lacazette gets an 8. Yeah, it's good to see him scoring again. But I don't think he's ready to start. The front three needs to be Martinelli, Aubameyang, and Pepe. He needs to continue coming off the bench and scoring, then possibly get rotated in, and then start scoring again from starts on a regular basis. So Lacazette gets an 8. Alright, moving on to Reece Nelson. He looked decent after coming on. Didn't have a bad few minutes on the pitch. Did look positive. Definitely freshened up the midfield. And again, maybe he's knocking on the door of the starting 11. It's possible that he maybe have to compete with Pepe for that position, or maybe, who knows? Tell me in the comments if you'd play Reece Nelson at right back, since that seems to be an issue at the moment. That could be a possible fix. He didn't have much time on the pitch, so therefore not much to score him on. Just a standard 5 there. Hector Bellerin didn't really come on for much time, so I don't think it's fair to even mark Bellerin on this one. Alright, so Arteta, first up, the starting 11. When I saw that, I thought that was a bit risky in terms of the selections that he made, but in the end, he pulled it off, picked a team that he thought could get the job done, and they eventually did. We won the game, got a clean sheet, 3 points. 8 out of 10. So that is it for my player ratings for Arsenal 1, West Ham 0. And I think it was a good 3 points. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. So go ahead guys and like the video. Don't forget to comment, share it with somebody, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell, notification, get the new video. Yeah, let's keep this channel moving. Gunners!